Ever since he came into our lives, he became one of the family. But now he's gone. With Fond Recollections memorial plaques and website, we can upload all our photos and videos of him. Visit fondrecollection.com today and cherish the happy memories of your loved ones.
Chapter 14. Chinks in the Armor. The atmosphere was festive in the hospital mailroom. There was a party going on in honor of Mailroom and Volunteer Appreciation Week. The party was hosted by Victor Diaz, the mailroom supervisor, who had decorated the room cheerfully with balloons and streamers and a big banner. Most of the mailroom staff and hospital volunteers attended this party. Victor had set up speakers which were blasting top 40 hits, and the food was warm and laid out buffet style so that anyone could come up and make themselves a plate. The party was due to start at 2 p.m., and as soon as the clock struck 2, the party kicked off. Victor had planned to kick off the party with a quick speech. He stood next to the banner, clinking his glass with a spoon to get everybody's attention.
Hello and welcome everybody to St. Mark Baptist Hospital Annual Mailroom and Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon. First, I would like to warmly welcome our new CEO, Eric Rivera, and thank him for gracing us with his presence.
Victor pauses so that the staff can applaud Eric. He started clapping, and everybody else quickly joined in.
I would like Mr. Rivera to say a few words before we get this party started, and we can all start enjoying this delicious spread,
Victor said graciously. Eric stepped up beside Victor, beaming at his staff. He was wearing a brand new suit, his shoes freshly polished, and an expensive watch rested casually on his wrist, where a keen eye could spot shiny gold cufflinks. The suit looked like a designer garment. It was a major upgrade from Eric's previous look, where he would usually wear the same suede shoes with corduroy pants and a tweed jacket. Eric smoothed down his hair and said,
"Thank you all for inviting me to your beautiful luncheon."
He looked around the room at all the people in the mailroom.
As your new CEO, I wanted to personally let you know that my door is always open if any of you need anything. I am here to help. I am always there for you. However, do ensure that you go through your proper chain of command first. We have a well-designed system of hierarchy here at St. Mark's. If we all follow the proper procedures, I am sure we can usher the hospital into a new era of prosperity for all the staff, so we can focus on doing our best for the community.
He looked incredibly pleased with himself and very self-important. Eric was doing his best to come across as approachable and warm, the opposite of what Nicole Snipes had been. Many in the staff believed that to be a welcome change, while some were still wary. They had been in the medical community long enough to understand administrative politics and knew from experience that all that glitters is not gold. Eric, however, was basking in his moment of glory. He raised his glass to his audience and said,
"Enough talking now. Let's eat."
He grinned. The crowd broke off into small groups, chattering. When the servers lifted the lids off the dishes to uncover the food, everybody cheered. The ladies of the department quickly got up and made plates for the CEO and Victor, ensuring that they received their food first. Then the rest of the staff lined up next to the table, helping themselves to pasta, sandwiches, and salad that were on the menu. They turned the music back on again, and everybody started mingling and having an enjoyable time. Victor had planned some party games for the attendees after they had finished eating. While Eric and Victor were eating, Eric was scanning the room. He noticed that not all of the mailroom staff was present at the party. He thought it was strange and rude, so he asked Victor about it.
"Hey, Victor,"
Eric said casually.
"didn't you inform all of the staff about the luncheon? Seems to me that some people are missing."
Victor also glanced around the room, unbothered.
Yeah, I told the entire staff during our morning meeting. Besides, they are all here. Only Tracy Kites did not show up. She is one of our volunteers,
Victor explained.
"I know who Tracy is, Victor,"
Eric said.
"She's the whistling old lady that's always smiling, who delivers the mail packages."
Victor was surprised to realize that Eric knew Tracy by name when she was just a volunteer.
Yes, sir. She is not really a big eater, but everyone knows that. However, she is one of my best staff members. Tracy does not have much of a social life, so she volunteers to work if anyone in the department needs to take time off.
He told Eric.
She's a godsend, really. Otherwise, I would have to pay overtime to other staff members. Volunteers do not get wages, as you well know,
Victor said. Eric was pleased to hear this.
"Ah, so that is the secret of your department always reporting on the budget. That is smart. My man,"
Eric said, clapping Victor on the back.
"Keep up the excellent work."
Eric and Victor continued talking, discussing ways they can further cut down department costs and make the hospital more efficient. The party went on, and the mailroom staff and volunteers happily ate, talked, and listened to music. Eric looked around at all the happy people in the room and felt full of confidence. This is my hospital, he thought proudly. This is the way I intend to keep my staff happy, and the department's running efficiently and in a cost-effective manner. I need to make sure things stay the same. I need to make sure all departments are running as smoothly as the mailroom. Eric was excited about the future. This was going to be easy, he thought. Everything was coming up roses for Eric Rivera at that time. 2 years later. Eric Rivera's optimism at the mailroom party 2 years ago had not been unfounded. 2 entire years had gone by without a single incident that could tarnish St. Mark's Baptist Hospital's precarious reputation. Under his leadership, the hospital even received all of its trauma care accreditations back. That was important to Eric. It felt like a personal accomplishment for him. Other people also started believing that Eric had come and fixed everything that Nicole Snipes had muddled up. The words, "a strong man for a strong job," were often heard being said around the hospital. Eric Rivera had made some appointments of his own to replace some of the staff that Nicole had fired. He had recently appointed Marcia Glinton as the chief nursing officer at St. Mark's Baptist Hospital. Marcia Glinton had been working at St. Mark's for the past 10 years in the medical intensive care unit. A highly intelligent, red-haired person with a commanding personality, Marcia had her own way of doing things, even though her methods were unorthodox. She believed in pushing procedures and the constant training of nursing staff. She would conduct workshops every other week and make it mandatory for all nurses to attend because she believed the nurses had to stay up to date with the latest care methods. They also needed regular reminders of policies and procedures that she expected them to follow at the hospital. Her vision, though unorthodox, yielded results. However, they were not altogether positive, as the nurses ended up hating her for being such a hard ass. Many of the nurses complained to Human Resources about her totalitarian attitude and extreme policies. It was becoming a concern for May Payne, the HR director who still remembered the fallout from the staff shortage before the fateful 4th of July weekend 2 years ago. She had set up a meeting with Marcia to discuss her concerns about some of her policies that May believed were in breach of some HIPAA violations. The hospital could not afford to have any more incidents. May needed to nip this one in the bud. 2 of the ICU nurses had already threatened to quit, and another had burst into her office in tears after dealing with Marcia. In May's opinion, Marcia needed to calm the fuck down. Marcia Glinton, on the other hand, was furious when she received the call from HR. People could be such wimps, she thought scornfully. She was confident that her position in the hospital was secure. Marcia's methods were working, weren't they? What could they have to complain about? She was determined to find out. Marcia usually wore her hair in a tight bun. Fixing an errant strand that had managed to escape her hairspray, she strode confidently into May's office. May Payne was sitting there at her desk when Marcia entered. She glanced up from a file she was reading and said,
"Thank you for coming, Marcia. Would you like something to drink?"
May asked. May Payne was always the very picture of politeness. She believed courtesy was in armor. Behind that politeness was a firm, no-nonsense woman who was an expert in weeding out liars, manipulators, and narcissists. It was her job. Many people wrongly believed they could take advantage of her because she projected a non-threatening image. Some people found it hard to wrap their heads around the fact that if a black woman was the head of HR at such a major hospital, it was because she was damn good at her job. May was interested in seeing how Marcia would interact with her. Marcia sat down without hesitation.
"No thanks, I don't want to drink."
Marcia said.
"I want to know the issue the staff is having about the installation of security cameras."
She said directly. May looked at her and said pointedly,
"The issue, Marcia, is not about the installation of the cameras. It is about the locations that you are proposing. Installing security cameras inside restrooms or locker rooms is a direct violation of the HIPAA policy,"
May informed her. Marcia looked frustrated.
"But those are the 2 most vulnerable areas at the hospital,"
she protested.
"We do not want another fatal incident with those patients, do we, May?"
She said in a low tone of voice, her eyes glinting dangerously. May Payne knew this tactic was textbook intimidation. Marcia was used to intimidating her staff. Well, it was not going to work with May Payne.
"Of course we do not.
May said nonchalantly.
However, you must reverse some of your aggressive policy changes at the hospital. We have received numerous complaints from staff and their union representatives. This can become a legal issue very quickly if you are not careful. Not just for the hospital, but for you personally as well,"
May said firmly. Marcia knew she had to stand her ground, otherwise she would lose everything. Her staff feared her, and that is why everything was working smoothly. Marcia did not care if she was not winning any popularity contests. May could see the determined look in Marcia's eyes and sighed. She got up to make herself a cup of coffee. This was going to be a long and difficult meeting.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you had fun or picked up anything from this episode, please assist us by hitting the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. You can also comment and share our content. These small things really help our channel and mean a lot to us. Also, special thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the heartbeat of this channel, and we can't thank you enough for being so generous. If you would like to join our Patreon community, please click on the link below. You can contribute as little as $5 per month. You can get all kinds of perks. You can even buy merchandise of your favorite characters at our shop store. Click on the link provided below. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, remember you are cherished by us. So be kind and know that we consider you as family.